We're on the record. Good morning, everyone. As chairperson of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia, and in accordance with DC Code Section 257 of Open Meetings Act OMA, I am welcoming you to the regular scheduled meeting of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to guidance made available by the District of Columbia's Office of Open Government regarding electronic meetings held by public bodies. Electronic meetings by the ABC Board are authorized pursuant to Section 2577A of the DC Code. Pursuant to the OMA requirements, notice of today's meeting was provided 48 hours in advance of the meeting on ABRA's website and on the District Central meeting calendar. The notice included the time, date, agenda, and call-in or login information for public participation. This electronic meeting has been hosted by a WebEx account provided by the District of Columbia government. Please address any questions or complaints to the OOG at opengovoffice@dc.gov. My name is Donovan Anderson. I'm chairman of the board. I would like to introduce the other members of the ABC board who are also participating electronically. Please respond when I announce your name. Mr. James Short.
Mr. James Short, present.
Mr. Bobby Cato.
Bobby Cato, present.
Ms. Rafi Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, present.
Ms. Jenny Henson.
Jenny Hansen, present.
Mr. Edward Grandis.
Edward Grandis, present.
The board has 6 members in attendance for the conduct of business today, and that constitutes a quorum. Before we get underway with today's hearing calendar, I need to make a few instructions very clear so that the conduct of these hearings is understood by everyone. There are 12 cases on our calendar today. Once the case is called, I will take a moment for IT specialists to elevate the rights for each party to enable their camera and microphone. Then and only then will you have the ability to enable your equipment. If your case has not been heard, you will remain mute and your camera will be disabled. At the conclusion of each case, the party should leave. If the party chooses to stay, all cameras and microphones for the concluded case will be disabled. Should you have any questions or require technical assistance during the hearing, please submit them using the question and answer feature. And our first order of business today, give me a minute, please. We have a protest hearing status, case number 23 PRO 00014 barcode, license number 115593. This hearing has been rescheduled till March to a date to be determined. The next case on our calendar is case number 23 PRO 00015, Tom's Watch Bar, license number 119403. Good morning, Mr. Oriana. Can you please elevate the rights of the parties in this case, please?
Andrew Klein, your access has been elevated. Michael D. Schenkel, your access has been elevated. Michelle L. LaRue, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Klein. Could you please spell and state your name for the record, please?
Yes, good morning, Chairman Anderson, members of the board. Andrew Klein, first name Andrew, last name Kline.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Schenkel. Can you please spell and state your name for the record, please?
Yes, good morning. My name is Michael Schenkel. It's Michael. Last name is Schenkel, Shankle. I'm the chair of ANC2C.
Good morning. Ms. LaRue, can you please spell and state your name for the record and your identification, please? You're on mute, Ms. LaRue. Unmute your phone, please.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Hi.
Yes.
Good morning, Michelle LaRue, Michelle, last name LA, capital RUE. I am counsel for residents at Gallery Place Condominium Unit Owners Association, protestant in this case.
All right, so you're representing, is it a group or is it an abutting? Which one?
Sorry, yes, it's a group of 5 or more.
All right, thank you, Ms. LaRue.
Sure.
All right, Mr. Klein, are there any preliminary matters?
No, not at this time.
All right, thank you. Mr. Schenkel, are there any preliminary matters?
I'm sorry, are there any what?
Preliminary matters, do you have any?
No.
Just any preliminary matters you want to bring to
No, I do
our
not.
attention? And Ms. LaRue, any preliminary matters you'd like to bring to the attention of the board?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, this matter then is scheduled for if this matter is not scheduled, it's not settled, it is then scheduled for a protest hearing on May 3rd, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. All right, now that we've scheduled this matter for a protest hearing, there are a few things I would like to instruct you about because the board's practices have changed. Following this hearing, because as I stated, because all the hearings are now virtual. Following this hearing, you'll receive an email from the legal office that will include a copy of a protest information form, PIP, and a copy of an exhibit form, as well as specific instructions for the hearing. You are required to Hello? All right. If we do not receive a copy of your form 7 days before the hearing, your application. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right. I
think
need
you are-
everyone to be on camera because I don't see all my board members.
I'm sorry, you are cut
Chairman,
off.
your audio has been going in and out. And then at one
Right.
point we lost your visual as well.
All right. I don't know, and that's one of the reasons. Now I can only see. I see Mr. Klein. I see Mr. Grandis. Right. Let's go off the record for a minute. Let me switch to a different device. All right, so we're off the record for a minute. Let me switch to a different device.
Mr. Chairman?
Okay, so we're off the record for a minute.
Mr. Chairman, you may want to check with Mr. Cato, because at least on my screen,
I'm sorry, what did you say, Mr. Grandis?
you may want to check with Bobby Cato unless others can see him, because I don't see him.
But I'm gonna switch to a different device, okay? All right. I apologize for my background. I'm switching devices and my background is not picking up. So I apologize for that. Hold on. Give me a minute, please. All right, we need to do this here, and so let me do this. So I apologize. We need just to make sure that this works. So we will, yeah. All right. Let's go back to the camera. Let's go back to. All right. Let me see who's missing. So we now have all our board members. Okay, that's fine. All right. So as I stated before, now this matter is scheduled for a protest hearing on March for Tom's Watch Bar. So this matter is scheduled for a protest hearing on May 3rd, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Just want to remind all parties that 7 days before the hearing, you are required to provide us with the PIP. Oh, yes. All right. Let me go back. All right. You submit the protest information form and exhibit form at least 7 days before the hearing. If you do not receive a copy of your PIP, if we do not receive a copy of your PIP 7 days before the hearing, or your application, your protest may be subject to dismissal. These documents not only need to be submitted for legal, but to the opposing party. These documents to narrow the protest issues, facilitating the process, and keeping the parties on point during the hearing. The board does not intend to hear testimony in matters that are not relevant to those issues. Can folks hear me? Thank you. Let me, I apologize for that. And I'm from one place to the other. And I'm having some technological problems this morning, but can everyone hear me?
I can
folks hear
now.
me?
I can now,
You-
but I couldn't before.
All right, so did you hear, in a sense, that 7 days before the hearing, you're supposed to provide us with a copy of your PIP?
Got it.
All right. Let me go back to my laptop. I'm switching devices again. I apologize. All right. Can folks hear me? All right, I'm going to turn off my video for a minute because I'm switching devices and I'm having some problem with the devices. But as I stated before, this matter, as I stated before, 7 days before the hearing, you're required to submit your document and PIF. Both parties, you have 60 minutes to present your case and 5 witnesses. Any questions by anyone? I apologize for some of the problems that we're having. Any questions by anyone?
No questions from the applicant.
Then, if there are no questions, good luck with your negotiations. Good luck with your negotiations. And if this matter is not settled, then I'll see you for a protest hearing on May 3rd, at 1:30 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
All right, hold on a minute. All right. Let me get back to the hold on, please. All right, the next case in our calendar is case number 23 PRO 00012 Union Oyster Bar and Lounge, license number 110747. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the rights of the parties in this case, please?
Jessica Mejia. Oh, apologies. Christine Godinez, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else on this call for this? Ms. Godina, state your name for the record, please.
Sure. Christine Godinez, Christine, last name Godinez.
And what's your relationship to this? What's your relationship to this case, ma'am?
I am one of the representatives for the protestants.
who's the licensee?
Union Oyster District Bar and Lounge. But I am representing the
Oriana.
participants, not the business.
I'm aware of that, ma'am. Mr. Oriana, is there anyone else on the line for this call?
No, I do not see anyone from in the attendee log waiting in the waiting area. I will send a chat. I just elevated a call-in user. Not sure if this is someone.
And who is that, please?
I just sent them a request to unmute.
Okay. The caller who's can you please unmute that caller to see who's a person whose number is 529 301 529. Can you find out who is the call-in caller? The person with the number 301 529. Who's that person?
I believe that's the court reporter. Apologies.
Oh, that's a court reporter?
Yeah, that's the backup. So the other number, 674, is one in question.
All right. It's almost 11 o'clock. And Mr. Gardina.
Yes,
All right. So you represent the protesters, is that correct?
correct.
All right. This matter was scheduled for a protest hearing at 10:30. And this is the case number 23 PRO 00012 Union Oyster Bar and Lounge. This matter was scheduled for a protest hearing at 10:30. It is now 11 o'clock and the licensee is not here. So since the licensee is not here, I'm going to make a motion that their application be dismissed. Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, before you do that, do we know who number 20267?
Mr. Grandis, I checked with Mr. Oriana and he said that the person is not here. I have done that. That's why I've been asking, and that's why I've been asking for the individual, the owner of Union Oyster, to identify themselves for the record.
We've been
And I
having
was
Get
told that-
seconds.
All right. Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion that has been seconded by Ms. Crockett. Mr. Short,
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato,
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett,
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson,
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis,
Due to technical difficulties this morning, I disagree.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Mr. Grandis?
Due to some technical difficulties that we have been experiencing, I disagree.
Mr. Grandis disagrees. Mr. Anderson agrees. the board votes 5-1 to dismiss renewal application. What this means, Ms. Godinez, is that they have taken to provide the board with reasonable notice why we're not here today. If they have failure on their part to provide the board with reasonable notice, we will dismiss their application and they have to start the process back over again. If they file, if they decide to refile, then you can ask the board to grandfather your protest. You understand, ma'am?
I do. And can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the second status hearing. We've had the first original application. They also did not show up to that status hearing. So we had to grandfather in our protest. So given that this is the second time now that they've not attended, how many more permutations might we have to go through with grandfathering in our protests again and again?
Well, ma'am, unless you're out of business, they have to follow. They have to file an application with us to renew their license. So therefore, they do not currently. Their license has not been renewed, so they are not supposed to. They are not supposed to be operating, and so therefore, so if this is second dismissal, then we, if they do not provide the agency with reasonable notice within 10 days, then what I'll do is that I'm going to make a motion. I will also make a second motion that the agency issues that failure on the part of the licensee, because this is the second time we have gone through this process. Failure by the licensee to provide us reasonable cause why they refuse to show up today. I'm making a motion that at the expiration of the 10 days, the ABC board, the agency issues a cease and desist to Union Oyster Bar and Grill. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, I second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Mr. Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
I didn't hear you say, Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Thank you. Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
You agree or disagree? I didn't hear Mr. Grandis.
I agree with this motion.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The board has voted 6-0 that failure by this licensee, this is the second time they have refused to show up, and that failure of this licensee to provide reasonable notice within 10 days, that the agency is empowered to issue a cease and desist to this establishment, that they cannot operate until their license has been renewed, or they have initiated the process to renew their license. All right, Ms. Godinez, but that's just the way it is, ma'am. So there's nothing else I can do. I have done everything that I'm empowered to do at this moment. Okay.
So if they do provide reasonable notice and the renewal is able to continue, is this going to be another case where we're going to have to grandfather in our protest again? Because now it's been 6 months since we filed our original protest, and I'm not sure if they're trying to run out the clock or what's going on, but it's just hard because we're continuing to try to resolve this and it's dragging out because they're not showing up. And so it just seems to be a cycle, and I want to know how we can break that.
But I think where we are, ma'am, is that if this has not been done, we're going to issue a cease and desist. And what a cease and desist means is that we will go to the establishment and take the license, and they will be prohibited from selling and serving alcohol. Now they can operate by serving food, but they cannot serve alcohol. But that's all that we can do, ma'am. We can issue a cease and desist order to say that they cannot serve alcohol, but they can operate as long as they have a basic business license to operate. But then we can prevent them from serving alcohol. That's the only thing that we can do, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next case in our calendar is case number 23 PRO 00009 Torah Bar, license number 92074. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the rights of the licensees and the protestants in this case, including the Spanish interpreter?
De Leon, your access has been elevated. Maria Cruz, your access has been elevated. Ralph Bernstein, your access has been elevated. Adriana Torosian, your access has been elevated. That is all, Chairman.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, can we have the Spanish interpreter? Can you? All right, let me. I see that Ms. De Leon, she has been elevated. Where's the licensee? Can the licensee? Where's the licensee?
She's
Can
under
someone just
Roselia. She's under Roselia. I'm not sure, but her name is Maria Roselia Escolero de Cruz. This is Ana de Leon. So
All right,
I see her at the bottom. Yes.
All right. Let me
Good morning. Buenos días.
all right.
Buenos
All
días.
right, okay, fine. Let me have the Spanish interpreter. Ma'am, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
I'm the Spanish interpreter. My name is Adriana Torosian. Adriana, Adriana, Torosian, Torossian.
Miss, can you raise your right hand, please, ma'am? Mr. Rossarian. I need the Spanish interpreter to raise their hand.
I am.
All right. Do you solemnly affirm that you will faithfully and accurately interpret the proceedings in this matter from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's Miss the representative for the entity. Can you please identify yourself for the record by spelling and stating your name?
Good morning. My name is Ana, A-N-A, De Leon, D-E-L-E-O-N.
And what's your relationship, ma'am?
I am just helping her. I started helping her renew her license, and then we had this order come in.
That's fine, ma'am. That's fine. I just want to make sure you identify yourself for the record.
Sir.
So can we have? All right. So, Miss the interpreter, can you please ask the licensee to spell and state her name for the record, please?
Señora Roselia, ¿puede por favor decir su nombre completo y deletrearlo para que conste en actas?
Sí, sí. Mi nombre es María Roselia de Cruz. María Roselia de Cruz.
¿Puede deletrear su nombre, por favor, para que conste en actas?
M-A-R-R-I-A-R-D-E Cruz. C-R-U-Z.
María, M-A-R-I-A, Roselia, R-O-C-E-L-I-A, de Cruz, D-E-C-R-U-Z.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Bernstein, can you please spell and state your name for the record, please?
Yes, hello, this is Ralph Bernstein, Bernstein. Thank you.
And who else is here with you this morning, Mr. Bernstein?
We have four other members of the group of 5 or more Protestants against the establishment, the Toro Bar. And
Are they on the line, sir?
Yes, they are, and they can introduce themselves. Do you want me to introduce them?
I
You want them
need
to
them
just
to
go ahead?
introduce themselves, yes.
Okay. Other Protestants, please introduce yourselves. So Nick, David, Zach, and Mari.
Are they on the line?
Yes, they told me they're all on the line via text. Let me.
Have they been, Mr. Oriana? Is there anyone else that's on the line that needs to be elevated?
Let me check. There's some call-in users. I'm gonna elevate them and see which one. One second.
We don't take other tracks and stuff. So
Okay, I just elevated all the call-in users. Not
I'm
sure
waiting
which
for
one.
I'm waiting for the individuals to identify themselves for the record.
I just sent them unmute requests.
I believe that they're all phones call-in numbers.
Hello?
It says here that they say they need to be elevated.
Am I unmuted? Hello?
All right, who's that person who's asking a question? Can you identify yourself for the record? And by
My name is
spelling and stating your name for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Zachary Gines.
Spell your name, please, sir.
ZACHARYJINES.
Thank you. All right, who else do we have on the line?
Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
No, you have to be on your phone. Star 6, and you'll be unmuted.
Hello.
Who else do we have on the line? Can you please
Hi, my name
state your name
is-
for the record?
My name is Lucy Mendizábal, and I'm representing my neighbor, Mari Buenavida. She's
No,
on
I'm
work.
sorry. No, ma'am. You can't represent the person. The person has to be here. Is that person here?
No, but then, okay, then I'm,
You said what, ma'am?
well, I'm here now.
What is your name, ma'am?
Luz Mendizábal.
What's your name? I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Luz Mendizábal.
Ma'am, you did not sign the protest form, ma'am, so you can't be in this hearing today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my neighbor she had a family thing, so she couldn't make it. So she asked me to listen and step in and do what I could for her. So, okay. Thank you.
What else do we have on the line?
Okay. Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. This is David Bridges.
Spell your name for the record, sir.
Yes. It's David. Last name Bridges, BRIDGES.
Who else is on the line?
William Bowden, WILL.
Can you spell and state your name for the record, please?
William Bowden, WILLIAM, DOWDES.
All right. Who else is there? Is that everyone? Mr. Bernstein, can you turn your video on? Who else? Is there anyone else on the line?
No.
Mr. Bernstein. Turn your video on, sir, please.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Bernstein.
This is Ralph Bernstein.
All right, Mr. Bernstein. You file a protest as a group of 5 or more. At the roll call hearing, you were the only person that was at the hearing. You were told that at this hearing, you were supposed to provide 4 other individuals who had signed the protest information form to protest this license. And today, there's only 3 people present because Marisa, M-A-R-I-S-E-L-A, B-E-N-A-B-I-D-E-Z, that individual who signed the documentation to protest the license is not here today, sir. And because you failed to provide 4 additional persons today who signed the protest documentation, I have to issue a motion to dismiss your protest. Can the interpreter advise the licensee what I just said, please?
Señor Ralph Bernstein, usted no está con otros 4 personas que han firmado la protesta en este caso, entonces como no están las personas presentes y firmantes, vamos a tener que desestimar esta protesta.
Is there anything you need to say, Mr. Bernstein?
Well, thank you. Yes, I didn't realize Mari had an issue and couldn't call in today. I understood she would be here. Is there any recourse to this? The facility is destroying our neighborhood, and I didn't anticipate that the other individual would not be on the call today. Is there any recourse to this, or because apparently the licenses, the ABRA licenses are renewed every 3 years, so there is no recourse to this. This facility, this establishment, will be able to continue to destroy the neighborhood for 3 years.
Sir, this is a protest. You protested the license. You were informed at the status hearing that today, because you did not have all 5 people at the hearing, that today, those 4 other individuals need to be here today. So because they're not here today, I'm making a motion that your protest be dismissed. Can the interpreter please?
Sir, can this also be challenged?
I'm sorry.
Hold on, sir. The interpreter, go ahead and interpret what I just stated.
Bien, señor Bernstein dijo que el establecimiento está destruyendo el vecindario con las operaciones que está llevando a cabo y que Mari se suponía que debía estar presente el día de hoy y no está presente, debe haber tenido un inconveniente. Quiere saber el señor Bernstein si hay algún modo de recursar esta protesta. El señor presidente dice que, de la audiencia dice que, señor Bernstein, usted se le dijo y se le avisó en la audiencia de condición de estatus de este caso que debían estar presentes las 5 personas protestantes. Como no están presentes, tenemos que hacer la moción para desestimar la protesta.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bernstein, you were saying something. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, can your recommendation to dismiss, for instance, in the case of the previous bar where they weren't there and they're allowed to challenge in 10 days, can we resubmit our, can we have another status hearing with all of the individuals?
No, sir, you can't have another. You cannot have you were given 2 opportunities, sir, to provide 5 people. You participated in the
Right. We're all middle class people that have to work, and it's difficult to get everyone together.
So you're given two opportunities. The protest hearing, you at the roll call hearing, and here to at the status hearing, you were specifically told that 5 people need to show up between those 2 hearings, sir. All right. So I'm making a motion that the protest be dismissed. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short is second. The motion will now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. The agency will be directed to move towards renewing their application.
Bueno,
I'm sorry,
entonces
sir, but-
esta audiencia de protesta se desestima y se va a aprobar esta desestimación de la protesta y la agencia va a recomendar que se renueve la licencia.
All right, that's it.
Ok, eso es todo.
Have a great day.
If I could, I would note that this seems unfairly biased.
Yes, sir. What do you think, sir?
I would just I would note that this seems unfairly biased in favor of the merchant, or for the establishment, where only one person needs to be needs to show up. Thank you for your time,
Mr. I want to put for the record. This was a group of 5 or more individuals who protested this renewal. The protestant was stated, if you're going to protest a renewal with a group of 5 or more, between the protest, the roll call hearing and the protest hearing status, all 5 individuals must show up. In this particular case, at the roll call, Mr. Bernstein was the only person who showed up at the roll call as the group of 5 or more. Mr. Bernstein was instructed by the board's agent that today at the status hearing, the other 4 members must show up. If the other 4 members did not show up, because the protestant was granted provisional status at the roll call hearing. The protestant was specifically told at the end of the roll call hearing that if the other 4 members did not show up today for the status hearing, he would not be granted standing and his protest would be dismissed. At this status hearing today, the protestant failed to provide the 4 other members of the group of 5 or more to protest this renewal. And so therefore, the board has no other opportunity but to dismiss their protest. And that is why the board voted to dismiss the protest.
Sure,
right?
sure. You just repeated the same thing. All I said was this seems to me to be biased in favor of the establishment. Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you. Have a great day.
Mr. Chair, am I dismissed?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. The matter is over.
Have a good day. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. It's my understanding that for the for case number 23 PRO 00012, Union Oyster Bar and Lounge, license number 110447, the board had voted to dismiss the protest because the licensee had failed to show up. It's my understanding that the licensee was on the wrong link So therefore, that is one of the reasons why the licensee was not having technical difficulties. They logged into the wrong link. I'm trying to see if we can get the protestant to come back online for us to continue that matter. But that was what was told, that the licensee did contact the agency to state that he was on the wrong link, and that's why he did not participate. All right, so anyway, so let's move on. I just want to clarify the record what happened in that case. All right, so let's move on to our then show cause hearing status. The first case in our show cause hearing status calendar is case number 21 CMP 00073, the Ugly Mug Dining Saloon, license number 71793. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the government and the licensee in this case, please?
Chris Southcott, your access has been elevated. Gaynor Jablonski, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Solcott, can you please identify yourself for the record, please? Mr. Solcott.
I just sent him an unmute request.
It doesn't appear that the government has been unmuted, so I'm waiting for the government to.
I'm not getting a response. I just sent him the call-in information as well.
I see that the government is here. It's just where it appears that we're having some problem in elevating the government in this case.
He is elevated. It appears that he's
Mr.
just
Solcott,
not muting.
he's just not.
Unmuting.
All right, Mr. Jablonski, can you please spell and state?
Sure. Hi,
Can you
Gaynor
please spell and state your
Jablonski.
name for the record, please?
Sure. Gaynor Jablonski, GAYNOR, JAB as in boy, LONSKI. Owner of the Ugly Mug.
All right, thank you. And I know the government is not here because it appears that we're having some technical difficulties, sir. Was this matter settled, or were you going to a hearing?
No, it was not settled. We were going to a hearing.
All right. All right, then this matter is scheduled for a show cause hearing on April 26, 2023 at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. Hold on a minute. I was told the government. Mr. Solcott, are you there? Mr. Solcott, yes.
Yes, I am here, Chairperson. I think there's some
Can you
technical
please
difficulties.
identify yourself for the record, please?
This is Assistant Attorney General Chris Southcott, CHRIS, last name SOUTHCOTT, from the Office of the Attorney General.
All right, thank you. Mr. Jablonski just introduced himself for the record. He informed me that there are no preliminary matters, so this matter then is scheduled for a show cause hearing on April 26th at 10:30 a.m. I just want to remind both parties that 7 days before the hearing, you are required to exchange documents and witnesses. Failure by either side to exchange documents and witnesses with the other side, and also share with the agency. And I apologize that the board is empowered to prevent the parties that failed to identify documents and witnesses 7 days before the hearing to rely on those documents. Any questions?
None from the government.
No.
All right. All right. Have a great day. Thank you very much then.
Thank you.
All right. All right. The next case in our calendar is case number 22 CMP 00103. Sol Mexican Grill license number 92192. This case has been canceled. The parties provided an offer in compromise to the board for its consideration. The next case in our calendar is case number 21 CMP 00059. Shaw Howard Deli license number 95169. This case has been canceled due to the submission of an offer in compromise to the board for its consideration. The next case in our calendar is case number 22251 00030 assets, license number 113585. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the rights of the licensee in this case, please?
Bianco, your access has been elevated. That is all, Chairman.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Southcott. Can you please again identify yourself for the record, please?
Good morning. This is Assistant Attorney General Chris Southcott. First name CHRIS, last name SOUTHCOTT from DC's Office of the Attorney General.
Mr. Bianco.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Richard Bianco for the respondent in this case, RICHARD BIANCO.
All right. Good morning. Are there any preliminary matters in this case?
Not from the respondent.
Nothing from the government.
This matter is scheduled for show cause hearing on April 12, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Just want to remind both parties that 7 days prior to the hearing, you are required to exchange documents and witnesses. Failure by either side to exchange documents and witnesses 7 days before the hearing, the board is empowered to prevent that side from relying on documents that have not been disclosed. Any questions by anyone?
Nothing from the government.
All right. Thank you. Then see you on April 12th at 1:30 p.m. Have a great day. Thank you very much. All right. The next case in our calendar is case number 22 CMP 00059. Kidist KIDST Lounge, license number 119361. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the licensee and there's an interpreter in this case, please?
Skarem Balku, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman. There is one more member in the waiting area, Yurga Tasema. Not sure if they're related.
Who's the interpreter?
Mescaram Baku.
So you're saying there's another person in the waiting room?
Yes. I'll elevate them to see. Yurga Tasema, your access has been elevated.
All right. Can the interpreter turn their camera on, please? Is Mr. who's it? Miss, can you please spell and state your name for the record, ma'am, please?
Mescaram Barco, MESKERAM, first name, last name BANKEW.
And what is your role today, ma'am?
I'm the Amharic interpreter.
All right, hold on a minute, please, ma'am. Can you raise your right hand, please, ma'am? Do you solemnly affirm that you will faithfully and accurately interpret the proceeding in this matter from English into Amharic and from Amharic into English to the best of your abilities?
I do.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Softcat, can you please identify yourself for the record, please?
This is Assistant Attorney General Chris Southcott. First name Chris, last name Southcott from DC's Office of the Attorney General.
Good morning. Ma'am, can you please ask the licensee to identify themselves for the record by spelling and stating their name, please?
አቶ ይርጋ ስሞትና እስከ አያቶ ስም ያስታውቁ።
አቶ ይርጋ ሳይሆን ይሄ ቅድስት ሻይ ነው። ቅድስት ሻይ ትባላለች ባለቤቷም። ስለዛ ይሄ ይርጋ የሚባል አይደለም።
ቅድስት ላስት ኔሟ ማን ነው?
ሻይ SHAY.
This is the owner of the bar, the lounge is ቅድስት ሻይ.
You spell I need, ma'am, I need you to tell him or you spell his name for the record, ma'am.
He is not the licensee, she is.
Okay, so who is he? Ma'am, who was he?
እርሶ ማን ነው አቶ ይርጋ?
አቶ ይርጋ አይደለም ባለቤቱ፣ አስተካክሉት ነው። ይርጋ የሚባል አይደለም የኬዙ ባለቤት።
No, wait, hold on. If he's not the licensee, I don't want to hear nothing from him, okay? I want the licensee to identify themselves for the record. Okay, you tell that, okay? Hold on, ma'am, hold on, okay? I see to identify themselves for the record. I do not want to hear from anyone else who is not the licensee. So tell that the person who has an iPhone or the phone who has it in front of their face, tell them to move away from the screen. I don't want to see or talk to them.
ስልኩን የያዙት ሰውዬ ከዛ ቦታ ዞር ይበሉ። የቅድስት ላውንጅ ባለቤት ብቻ ራሳቸውን ያስተዋውቁ።
So I need her to tell me what her name is and her relationship to this establishment.
ስሞትንና ከቅድስት ላውንጅ ጋራ ያሉትን ግንኙነት ይናገሩ።
እሺ ስሜ ቅድስት ሻይ ነው። የኪዲ ላውንጅ ባለቤት ነው።
KIDISTSHAY.
And what's her relationship to this case, ma'am?
ከዚህ ጉዳይ ጋራ ግንኙነቱ ምንድን ነው?
ባለቤት ነኝ።
I am the owner.
Thank you. Mr. Southcott. Where's the government?
Send him a chat.
Mr. Southcott, are there any preliminary matters in this case, sir?
I cannot hear the board. I can see video and I see people moving, but I can't hear anything.
Right. Are you there, Mr. Southcott? Where's the government?
Hello?
All right, sir. Are there any preliminary matters in this case?
Nothing from the government.
Can ma'am, can you ask the the owner if she has any preliminary matters she wants to bring to our attention, just any problems, not substantive, but just any preliminary issues.
ዛሬ እዚህ ሊነግሩን የሚፈልጉት ነገር አለ ከቅድሚያ ስሚው በፊት
ምን ማለት
ዛሬ
አልገባኝም።
እዚህ ላይ ሊያነሱት የሚፈልጉት ጉዳይ አለ
ስለምን
about what
I guess there are no preliminary matters. Okay, fine. It's fine. Can you let her know that this matter is scheduled for a show cause hearing on April 12th, 2023 at 10:30 a.m.
ይሄ ጉዳይ Chairman, would you repeat one more time, please?
The hearing is scheduled for April 12th at 10:30 a.m.
ይሄ ጉዳይ አፕሪል 12 2023 10 ሰዓት 4 ሰዓት ተኩል ላይ ሊሰማ ቀጠሮ ተይዟል።
Can you also tell her that 7 days before the hearing, she needs to exchange the documents and witnesses that she's going to rely on at the hearing with the government and with the agency.
ከአፕሪል 12 በፊት ከ7 ቀን በፊት ቀጠሮ ከሚሰማ በ7 ቀን በፊት ያሉትን ማስረጃዎች፣ ዶክመንቶች፣ ምስክሮች ስምና ዝርዝር ለገቨርነር ቢሮና ለኤጀንሲው ማሳወቅ አለበት።
Ask her if she has any questions.
How?
ኢሜል ነው የማደርገው ወይስ እንዴት ነው ማሳወቃቸው?
How do you I let you know? I email it or how?
I don't understand you, ma'am.
She's asking how do she exchange documents and witnesses with the office and the government and the agency? By email.
She needs to email them to the government, and she needs to email a copy to us or drop a copy off at our office 7 days before the hearing. If she's gonna rely on documents and witnesses that she's gonna defend herself at the hearing.
ራስዎን ለመከላከል ይረዳኛል ብለው ያሉት የሰነድ ማስረጃ ወይም ደግሞ ምስክሮች ካሉት ያን ስም ዝርዝር በኢሜይል ለገቨርነር ኦፊስ እና ለዚህ ለኤጀንሲ መላክ ይችላሉ ወይም ደግሞ በአካል ሄደው መስጠት ይችላሉ።
Can you tell her I don't want her to be talking to that person, okay? She needs to be talking to us, not to the person next to her.
ራስዎት የሚናገሩትን ራስዎን ችለው ይናገሩ።
እሺ
ኦኬ
አድራሻውን ትነግሪኝ የገቨርንመንቱን?
Where is the address of the government office?
Mr. Southcott, is this your case or whose case is this?
This is attorney AAG Anthony Sello. This is his case. I know that he had previously been in some form of communication with the establishment to forward them and relay the offer and compromise that was presented. I think he's spoken to them via phone, but I believe he's also sent emails.
Ma'am, you're an interpreter. Can you tell her what's been said, ma'am?
ከዚህ በፊት ገቨርነር ኦፊስ ያለው ይሄንን ጉዳይ የያዘው ጠበቃ ስልክ ደውሎ አነጋግሯችሁ ነበር፣ ኢሜይልም ልኮላችኋል። በዛ በላከላችሁ ኢሜይል በኩል ወደ እነሱ ዶክመንቶቹንና ምስክሮቹን ስም ዝርዝር መስጠት ትችላላችሁ።
እሺ
ኦኬ
Does she have any questions?
ጥያቄ አሉት?
የለም።
No, I don't have.
And does she understand that we're having a hearing on that we're having a hearing on, I'm sorry, on April 12th, and that's when she's gonna testify why she believes that her office she did not commit the violation that she was charged with. Does she understand that?
ሚያዝያ 12 10 ሰዓት ተኩል ላይ የሚሰማው የዚህን ስሚ በእርሶ ላይ የቀረበውን ጥፋት ፈጽሟል ተብሎ የተባለውን ነገር እና የሚያቀርቡትን ነገር በዛን ቀን ስሚ እንዳለ ጉዳዩን በደንብ ተረድተዋል ወይ?
አዎ፣ ግን ያንን በሰዓቱ የነበረው ሰው እንዲያብራራልኝ ባለቤቴ የነበረ በሰዓቱና ጉዳዩን ያየልኝ እሱም ሪፕሬዘንት ማድረግ ወይ ደግሞ መናገር ይችላል።
It is my husband who were in discussion with this, who knows about the matter. Can he represent me at the hearing?
Yes, our husband can be there if she tells us that he is representing her.
አዎ ማድረግ ይችላል። ባለቤቴ ነው እኔን ወክሎ እዛ የሚገኘው ብለው አስቀድመው ካሳወቁ።
ኦኬ እሺ ይቅርታ
She can bring anyone to the hearing to represent her, but she has to tell us that this person is representing her or that this person is speaking for her. But she has to tell us that.
በጽሁፍ አድርገው ባለቤቴ ሙሉ ስማቸውን ገልጸው እሱ ነው እኔን ወክሎ በዛ ጉዳይ በሚሰማበት ጊዜ ወክሎ የሚናገረው ብሎ የሚለውን ማሳወቅ አለቦት።
እኮ ገቨርንመንት ይሄንን እንትን ወረቀት ለማጻፍ ገቨርንመንት ሄጄ ነው ወይስ እንዴት ነው? በአካል ነው ማነው ሚያዝያ 12 እንትን ምን ነው ፍርድ ቤት የምቀርበው ወይስ እንደዚህ በስልክ ነው?
Where do I appear on April 12th to the hearing?
I'm sorry, where what?
Where do I appear? Where do we appear to the hearing?
It's the same on April 12th. We will send her a link and she will do the hearing online just like she's doing this hearing this morning.
ዛሬ እንዳደረግነው ሁሉ ሚያዝያ 12 ጉዳዩ የሚሰማው በዛሬው በተደረገው በዚህ በኦንላይን ነው። ለዛ የሚገቡበትን ሊንክ እንልካለን።
ወረቀቱን እንዴት ነው የማደርገው? የሱን ውክልናውን እንዴት ነው የምወክለው?
How do I let you know that my husband is representing me in a letter or in an email?
At the hearing, she can, if we go to the hearing, after she introduced herself to say she's the owner, she can tell her that she wants her husband to represent her.
ጉዳዩ በሚሰማበት ቀን እንደዚህ እንደዛሬው ከገቡ በኋላ ራስዎን ካስተዋወቁ በኋላ ባለቤቴ ነው እኔን ወክሎ የሚናገረው ብለው ወዲያውኑ ያኔ መናገርና ማሳወቅ እሳቸውም እርስዎ እንዲወክሉ ይሆናል።
እሺ
ኦኬ
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. መልካም ቀን።
እሺ አመሰግናለሁ።
All right. Thank you. All right. The next case on the calendar is case number 22-251-00013 and case number 22-251-0013A, The Good Guys Restaurant, license number 899. This case has been canceled to a date to be determined. Let me see. Let me see if I have the date. Hold on. Yeah, this case has been canceled to a date to be determined. I'm sorry, that case has been continued to a date to be determined. So we're at the end of our morning calendar. So let's go to our afternoon calendar. The next case in our calendar is case number 22 PRO 00159, Mirror Lounge, license number 111950. This case has been continued to April 5th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. The next case in our calendar is case number 23 PRO 00003, Vegas Lounge, license number 1273. This case has been canceled because the protestants have withdrawn their protests. And so therefore, we're at the end of our calendar for the day. And now that we're at the end of our calendar, let us now do our agendas. Let me see. Hold on. There you go. There you go. I'm sorry. For Good Guys, case number 22-251-00013 and case 22-251-00013A, Good Guys Restaurant license number 899. That hearing has been continued to May 3rd at 10:30 a.m. All right. So let us now do our legal calendar. The first matter on our legal calendar, it's a review of an offer in compromise in lieu of a hearing dated March 21st, 2023 for case number 22 CMP 00103, Sol Mexican Grill, license number 092192. And the offer in compromise is as follows. For charge 1, operated a summer garden without endorsement, statutory authority, DC Code Section 25113.01C. There's a fine of $1,000 payable within 30 days within 30 days. If the fee has not been paid in 30 days, the license will be suspended until the fee has been paid. For charge 2, made substantial change without board approval, statutory authority, DC Code Section 2562B2. That matter has been 3, named without approval, statutory authority 23 DCMR Section 600.1. There's a fine of $250 to be paid within 30 days. If it's not paid within 30 days, the license will be suspended until the fine has been paid. Is there a second?
Seconds.
Crockett, a second. The motion will now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Ms. Grandis, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 2, review of an offer in compromise in lieu of a hearing dated March 21st, 2023 for case number 21 CMP 00159, Shaw Howard Deli, license number 095169. And the offer in compromise is as follows. For charge 1, operated establishment under an expired license, statutory authority, DC Code Section 25762. That charge has been dismissed. Charge 2, failed to keep books and records for 3 years. Statutory authority, 23 DCMR Section 1208.3. There's a fine of $1,000. Charge 3, failed to follow settlement agreement by not ensuring that cameras are operational. DC Code Section 25-823A6. There is a fine of $250. I therefore make a motion that the OIC be accepted. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, I second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Mr. Grandis, I abstain from this particular motion.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0-1 with Mr. Grandis abstaining. Number 3 on the legal agenda. Review of a settlement agreement dated March 13th, 2023 by and between Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6B and Hill East Burger, license number 122788. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis. Mr.
Edward
Grandis.
I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0-0. Number 4, review of a settlement agreement dated January 30th, 2023 by and between Advisory Neighborhood Commission 2B and The Fireplace, license number 0114419. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis. Mr. Grandis.
I'm sorry about the audio. I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0-0. Number 5, review of the request from protesting abutting property owner to withdraw protest dated March 17th, 2023. This is in Vegas Lounge case license number 001273. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0-0. Number 6, review of request from Advisory Neighborhood Commission 2F to withdraw the protest dated March 20th, 2023. This is in Vegas Lounge, license number 001273. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Grandis.
Mr. Grandis and Mr. Short have seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0-0. Number 7, review of applicant's motion to continue the protest in case number 22 PRO 00136. This is in TG Cigars, license number 097774. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ed Grandis will second.
Mr. Grandis has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0-0. Number 8, Review of respondents' motion to dismiss review of respondents' motion to dismiss case number 22 CC 00010 dated March 13th, 2023. This is the Lyft Market, license number 088858. I make a motion that we deny this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, I second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Grandis and I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 9, review of the government's opposition to the respondent's motion to dismiss case number 22 CC 00024. This is in Lyft Market, license number 088858. This matter is now moot. Number 10, review of respondents' reply in support of motion to dismiss case number 22 CC 00024. Lyft Market, license number 088858. This is also moot. Give me a minute to move on to the all right. Let's now move to our licensing agenda. The first matter on our licensing agenda is the review application for safekeeping of license. Original request. This is for Taka City, DC 3, license number 117596. I make a motion that we approve this request through September 30th, 2023. Is there a second?
Edward Grandis will second.
Seconds.
Ms. Crockett and Mr. Grandis has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 2, review application to extend safekeeping of license. This is for formerly BLT Prime, license number 120991. I make a motion that we approve this request through September 30th, 2023. Is there a second?
Edward Grandis.
Ms. Crockett and Mr. Grandis will second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 3, review application to extend safekeeping of a license. This is for Hillview Market, license number 119160. I make a motion that we approve this request through September 30th, 2023. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short and Mr. Grandis will second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 4, review application for a class change from wholesaler class A to wholesaler class B. This is in Syndicated Brands LLC, license number 105868. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Grandis and I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 5, review application for a class change from retailer A Internet to retailer B Internet. This is for 6F Wine Club, license number 119440. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ms. Crockett, seconds.
Crockett and Mr. Grandis has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 6, review applications for entertainment endorsement inside the premises only. This is for the Saga Quadrant Bar and Lounge, license number 122095. I make a motion that we placard this matter. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 7, review request to increase the permitted occupancy load of the establishment. The load will increase from 245 to 399, which includes increases in the capacity to the interior and summer garden. This is for Paulor Victoria / Lucia Rosa, license number 119917. I make a motion that we placard this matter. Is there a second?
Crockett, seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 8, review request to amend the license to include the use of a streetery instead of a second sidewalk cafe. This is for Silver Diner, Silver Social, license number 120105. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Edward Grandis.
Mr. Grandis has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. Number 9, review application for the carry out and delivery endorsement. This is for Petworth Social Bar and Grill, license number 122657. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Crockett, seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. We now move to the notice of supplemental licensing agenda. The first matter on the notice of second on this agenda is the review request for personal auction permit for an event to be held on March 23rd, 2023. This is from Benchmark Wine and Spirits / Brentwood Wine, license number 118102. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Grandis.
Mr. Short and Mr. Grandis have seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. We now move to our cancellation agenda. The ABC board will be canceling the following license for the reasons outlined before. The first establishment is district space. License number 112204, the licensee is out of business. The next establishment is 100 Proof Spirits. License number 118418, the licensee requested cancellation. And the last licensee is Sospeso, SOSPESO, license number 120616. The licensee requested cancellation. I therefore make a motion that all these licenses identified on the cancellation agenda be canceled. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short and Mr. Grandis has seconded the motion. We'll have a roll call. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. We now move to the board's temporary license and one-day substantial change docket. There are 11 applicants on this docket. I will read the name of all 11 names, the type of license that's been requested, the event, the date, the license number, and the occupancy. And at the end of the list, I will ask that the ABC board approves the recommendation that I will be submitting. So the first applicant is a request from Catherine Downey. She's requesting a one-day license class F. This is for a gala. This is on March 23rd, 2023. The license number is 124284, 200 attendees, four security guards. Number two, a request from Lillian Iverson for a one-day license class F. It's for the Pedal Palooza Cherry Blossom Festival. This is on April 8th, 2023. The license number is 124288, 2,500 attendees in waves throughout the event, 10 security guards. Number three, a request from Lee Connery, LEIGHCONNERY, for a one-day license class G. This is for a gala. This is on April 1st, 2023. The license number is 124263, 300 attendees, 6 security guards. Number four, a request from Naif Isa, a one-day license class G. This is for a party with a disc jockey. This is on March 24th, 2023. The license number is 124265, 700 attendees in wave throughout the event, 14 security guards. Number five, another request from Naif, Nayef, Isa, ISSA. This is for one-day license class G. They're requesting a party with a disc jockey. This is on April 1st. The license number is 124266, 700 attendees, 14 security guards. This one, the board is requesting that there a fact finding be held, that the motion that we have a fact finding for this event. Number six, a request from Timothy Jenkins, a one-day license class G. This is for wedding. This is on May 14th, 2023. The license number is 124278, 115 attendees, 3 security guards. Number seven, a request from Lillian Iverson, a one-day license class G. Cherry Blossom Festival, April 8th, 2023. The license number is 124286, 1,500 attendees, 10 security guards. Number eight, a request from Schneider's of Capitol Hill for a one-day substantial change. This is for DC Wine Fest. This is on April 22nd, 2023. The nature of substantial change to use the license off premises at the DC Wine Fest, which is at Union Market Dock 5. The license number is 000252. The substantial change license number is 23SC 00633. 100 attendees, 6 security guards. Number nine, A request from Levi at DC United, a one-day substantial change. This is for pregame tailgate party, March 25th, 2023. The nature of substantial change is to change the host pregame tailgate directly in front of the stadium at Audi Field. The license number is 060462. The substantial change license number is 23 SC 00634, 110D6 security guards. Number 10, a request from Levi at DC United, a one-day substantial change for a pregame tailgate party, March 26, 2023. Nature of substantial change to host pregame tailgate directly in front of the stadium at Audi Field. The license number is 060462. The substantial change license is 23 SC 00656. Number 11, another request from Levi at DC United for a one-day substantial change, a pre-game tailgate party. This is on March 27th, 2023. Nature of substantial change to host pre-game tailgate directly in front of the stadium at Audi Field. The license number is 060462. The substantial change license is 23 SC 00636. I therefore make a motion that ABC Board approve these applications. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter pass 6-0. We now move to the licensing administrative docket. This is the last process in the ABC Board approving or issuing the agency approving the licenses that were previously. This is the last stage in the agency issuing the licenses or make changes to already issued license. There are 11 licensee applicants on this docket. I will read all 11 licenses, the applicants, the category, and the change that's been requested. So the first request is from Happy Ice Cream, license number 060765. They are a Retail C restaurant. They are now changing their name, and the new name is Comey Little Serow, SEROW Happy Ice Cream Gemini. Number 2, Sankofa Cafe, license number 118499. Their Retail C Tavern, change of hours application to the Summer Garden endorsement. Number 3, this is a personal importation permit application by Benjamin Lawrence Hall. The license number is 23 IMP 00007. So he's asking for personal importation permit. Number 4, a request from Cloud Restaurant and Lounge Sports Bar, license number 093572. Their Retailer C Tavern. They're now requesting the sports wagering endorsement application. Number 5, Space DC, license number 124237. Retailer C Tavern, letter of request to operate under a temporary operating retail permit, TORP ABRA, license 118277, Elements DC under that license. Number 6, Uncaged Mimosas, license number 1208889, Retailer C Tavern, letter of request to remove the dancing endorsement. Number 7, Ted's Bulletin, license number 123609, Retailer C Restaurant, new ABC license application. Number 8, STK Steakhouse, license number 123399, Retailer C Restaurant, new ABC license application. Number 9, Allen Systems, license number 123905, Caterers License, new ABC license application. Number 10, Carioca, CARIOCA Bar, license number 124185, Caterers License, new ABC license application. Number 11, Design Cuisine, license number 072263, Caterers License stock transfer application. I make a motion that ABC Board approve these requests. Is there a second?
Ed Grandis will second.
Mr. Grandis has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. We now move to our last docket. This is again another licensed administrative docket, and this is the approval of a streetery. There is one applicant streetery application. I will give the name and I'll make a motion that the ABC Board grant this change. So the establishment is Sushera, SUSHERIA, license number 072014. They're a retailer C restaurant, and they're requesting the streetery endorsement application. I make a motion that this application be approved. Is there a second?
Crockett seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. We have now come to the end of our, agendas for the day. And if there are no further concerns, the board will now adjourn for the day. As chairperson of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia, and in accordance with Title III, Chapter 405, Office of Open Government, I move that ABC Board hold a closed meeting on March 29, 2023, for the purpose of discussing and hearing reports concerning ongoing or planned investigations of alleged criminal or civil misconduct or violations of law or regulations, and seeking legal advice from our legal counsel on the board's investigative agenda, legal agenda, and licensing agenda for March 29, 2023, as published in the DC Register on March 24, 2023. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 6-0. As it appears that the motion has passed, I hereby give notice that the ABC Board will hold this aforementioned closed meeting. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, notice will also be posted on the ABC Board hearing room bulletin board, placed on the electronic calendar and ABRA's website, and published in the DC Register in as timely a manner as practical. We are now adjourned for the day. We'd like to thank the members of the public who participated in the hearing today, and the ABC Board members who also actively participated in the hearing today. I now direct all board members to return to executive session for further development. Thank you very much. Have a great day.